You join me in this episode where we will be tackling all the oil leaks, replacing the vacuum pump, giving the car a full service, running into some unforeseen issues, and go on the hunt to buy some hardware. A while ago I bought this BMW E90 320i for the channel as our first project car. When I bought it I knew there was quite a lot of work to do, hence the low price of it. I only paid 1300 euros for this car, so I knew there were things that were not correct on it. Now, in the meantime, what I already did, as you saw in the previous video, I did the crankshaft seal which was leaking and also installed the wrong way. We took out that old, disgusting old steering wheel and we replaced it with a brand new second-hand one, which is totally fine. And one of the big things that I've been struggling with is I took care of this. This is the old Parrot system that was in the car. Now, it was firstly installed very badly. Cables were like coming out everywhere and it just didn't look right. And also it's 2025, who still uses these things? No one. On top of that, I'm still gonna install an Android unit in the car which will refresh the interior and make it more modern. Another thing that was installed in this car is this thing. This is a pedal box which supposedly would make the reaction time of your pedal faster. There are 7 modes on here. Now, I don't care about these things. I don't want anything like that in my car. I will just make it OEM, how it used to come from the factory, and that's more than enough for me. In this episode, however, I want to focus my attention more on all the oil leaks the car have and take care of those. So what I have here is a new valve cover seal kit, so that will come in handy. I got the oil cooler seal, which is also leaking on the car, I noticed. I got the oil filter housing seal, another common leak on these cars. I also mentioned in the first video that the car has an enormous fuel smell when it's running. So I suspect either the injector seals are leaking or we have an issue with the EVAP purge valve, which I already have here as well. So we can take care of both of these and see how that problem develops further or is taken care of. We will see. So let's crack on and start working on the car and take care of these oil leaks once and for all. But of course, before we can do anything on the car, we need to first remove the scuttle panel, the interior filter and all the plastic surroundings so we can reach all the places we need to get to. Alright, so the scuttle panel is gone, all the plastics I took care of. I also made some space here, took the coil packs out, undid all these 10mm bolts all around, as you can see. Now these are captive so they don't come out. This is loosened. I also took care of this electrical connection so we have space to work. So now it's time to get the valve cover out. Okay, that's one valve cover removed. Now let's crack on and let's see how the timing tensioners look like, because those are also known to fail. The guide itself looks in really good condition. I suspect this has been changed before. I don't see any missing pieces and the chain itself is tight as well, so no issues there. If I look in there, I know you cannot see that, but that tensioner is also still in one piece, so we are good to continue our work. Yeah, so let's get on it. Now looking at the gasket itself, you can see it was leaking, so yeah, it's time to replace that. Now I'm thinking, I gotta be strategic about this, because not only do we have to do the valve cover and the vacuum pump, but we also need to take care of the injector seals and the seals of the oil filter housing and the oil cooler. So I think before I do any of this, now that we have everything removed here, that I first will take the oil filter housing off, so we have better access to all the other things. We might lose some coolant here, but that's okay. One. Okay. Come on. Okay. I'll put these clamps on so we save it. Okay. And then I just put this to the side like that. And now we can continue. Okay, so we got the oil filter housing off. This is the seal that we are gonna replace. Now, first I want to remove the oil cooler. Now, this one is held in by 4 screws, which are T30 torque screws. Okay, so now I'm going to remove these seals. They can be quite hard. So you just take a little hook or something to get under there. Like that. And this should come out. Try to get these out in one piece. I know they can become very brittle. If they break in there, yeah, just fish them out with this. Just make sure that no parts of the rubber stay behind in here. Now, doing this job is not really hard. Just gotta happen. Like BMWs and gaskets, yeah, that's not a good combination, I noticed. So, yeah, we gotta replace it, but I'm gonna clean this first. Got some brake cleaner here and some paper somewhere. Thank you. All right, now that I've taken everything off, I will now first do the vacuum pump, because now we have the most space to work. These bolts are all the way in the back, so this is going to be a bit of a challenge to to undo, but we'll do our best and see what happens. Now, taking these bolts out was easier said than done, since they're all against the firewall in the back of the engine, and I have pretty fat hands, so yeah, it was kind of a struggle to get them out, but eventually I got there and I got them all out. Yeah, but it was a whole struggle. Like this. Okay, so we took the vacuum pump out, which was a real hassle to get to all the bolts. So when you try to do this job, do it on a day that you're in a good mood. But anyway, so I took it out, and what I noticed is that, like, apparently someone tried to repair a leak on this before, since there is like some liquid gasket on here, which is not supposed to be on there, since we have a rubber ring that runs around it. I will show you on the new one. This is the new one, originally from Pierburg as well, so OEM quality. And this is the ring that should seal it. So my thought is that this failed on the other one, and that they tried to repair it with some liquid gasket instead of just replacing it. Installing this vacuum pump is actually not that hard. You just gotta make sure that you line up the spindle on the vacuum pump with the notch on your camshaft in the back. Yeah, so vacuum pumps, they're used lately more on modern cars because, yeah, modern cars, they don't create as much vacuum in the manifold as they used to. So they use either mechanical pumps like this one on this BMW or electronical vacuum pumps to assist with your brake booster and several other systems in the cars. Okay, the new vacuum pump is installed. Okay, so we're a couple days later, since I had some other things to take care of. I also became an uncle in the meantime, but today we're gonna continue the work on the engine. Last time what I did is I already took everything, I disassembled everything basically. I already replaced the vacuum pump. Now today what I want to do is I want to tackle the injector seals, the purge valve. We also have the VANOS solenoids to take care of today. And then I hope I can button this up and we see if we have a brake pedal, yes or no. The first thing I want to do, however, is taking care of this air box here, so we have a better access to the EVAP purge valve, which is located under there. I don't know if you will see that, but it will all make sense in a second. Okay, so first we gotta loosen these 10mm bolts here on the side. I really hope today we can button up the engine, because I'm very curious. Very curious that we finally have a brake pedal after replacing that vacuum pump. Okay, like this. Okay. Almost got this air box out. Okay, there we go. Now we can move this one to the side like this. And we created a lot more space now to work under there, because this is, 1 second, like literally under here. That's the EVAP purge valve that we want to disconnect and that we want to replace. So we took off the air filter box right now. Here you have your throttle body. We don't want any dirt going in there, so I take a cloth and I just block this, so we are 100% sure that no debris will go in there. All right, to take the purge valve off, which is located right here, we first gotta disconnect this connector here, which you just push the sides and then it should come off. Okay, there we go. So this one is now disconnected, as you can see. And then we have another one on the bottom here, which I hope goes a bit easier. Okay, so here we have the EVAP purge valve. The reason that I am replacing this is because when the car is idling, there is an enormous fuel smell, and I suspect this is the culprit and why we have this issue. So to put the new one in, it's basically the same in reverse, so yeah. Alright, that's a new purge valve installed, so I hope that takes care of the fuel smell, but to be sure I will also be doing the injector seals. Okay, so now that we are in here anyway, we're gonna do a service on the car, so while I'm here I will take apart this air box so we can replace the air filter. There we go. This is your air filter. Take it out, just lift and wiggle it out. Like that. All right. I got a new one here. Which we got from our good friends of VB Bilstein, not sponsored. And this is the new air filter. So, yeah, pretty simple. Just goes in like it came out. Push that on there. Okay. There we go. That's a new air filter installed, so we can close this back up. Alright, so now just gotta put the screws in, and that's also done. Okay, all the sensors are back connected. This is buttoned up. So that's done. Okay, before I do the injector seals, however, I first want to install the oil filter housing with the oil cooler. I have replaced all the seals also between the oil cooler and the oil filter housing. So we're going to put that back in, so we don't need to mess around with those loose cooling hoses anymore. Obviously, I also changed the oil filter that's in here. And 3. All right, that one is on, and now we can connect the hoses again. Gotta be a bit fast here so we don't lose all the coolant. It's actually fine. That's one. This one. Okay. Okay, and that's 2. There. New oil filter gaskets are done. Oil cooler gaskets done. New oil filter installed. And the cooling hoses are attached again. So I think we are ready to start tackling the injector seals. Now, before we gonna do the injector seals, we gotta release the fuel pressure of the fuel rail. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I never did BMW before, so yeah, it's gonna be a bit of an experience for me as well, but I guess it's gonna be the same as other cars. Now, this thing here, we gotta loosen it first. Battery is also disconnected. And then you see it's like basically like a Schrader valve, like on a bicycle tire or a car tire. If I press this in, it will release all the tension, all the fuel pressure of the rail. Now, be careful when you do that because sometimes it can have a lot of pressure and can like literally fly everywhere. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna put on my safety glasses. So you just take like a screwdriver or something and you put it in there and then, oh, there we go. And that's the fuel pressure released. Okay, next step. So I said I never did this on a BMW before, so it's gonna be a bit of a search for me as well. But I suspect at first we gotta loosen these 10mm bolts here on the top. We have one here and we have one here, and then we'll see, well, what we can do and how far we can get with this. Okay, so here we have our injectors. I can already tell that one of the seals fell off and they are pretty hard. So I think it's a good thing that we replace them. Yeah. Now we have new seals here from Elring, which is also the original supplier for BMW. I would always say, like, I know I'm not a professional, but when I buy seals for anything in a car, I always try to go OEM, so we know we get the good quality and we will not have issues later down the line. Put them like this and put them in their channel like that, and they should be good as new. Yeah, I can feel these ones are much tighter and much more flexible. So this can also have been a contributing factor of the fuel smell that we had. That's an insect. Okay, so that is the injector seals done. So don't forget to put this cap back on, like this. Okay, a little recap. What did we do? We did the EVAP purge valve, we did the injector seals, we did the vacuum pump, we did the seals for the oil filter housing and the oil cooler. We put a new oil filter in, we put a new air filter in, everything is connected on this side. So right now, since this is open on this side, I think before I close anything or button anything down, I'm gonna replace the spark plugs first. The spark plugs that I have are NGKs, laser iridiums. So that's another thing that I always like to do. I don't like to buy cheap spark plugs because in the past I already had a couple of issues with that. But these NGKs, they really work well. Okay, that's one spark plug out. Let's see what's in here. Oh, it's actually also an NGK that's in here. Also the laser iridium. Yeah, it's very good. Color is beautiful. There is no really, not a lot of soot on there. And it's not lean, not too rich. I think this is perfect. So that's a good sign. Alright, that spark plug's done. The next thing. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna replace the VANOS solenoids. Since these are also a common thing on these cars to go. And yeah, I know you can clean them out, I know that, but I rather just install new ones. It's not that expensive, and then we are 100% sure that they are fit for the job. Alright, so the next thing that I am going to do is the VANOS solenoids. They are located here in the front of the engine, which is very fortunate for us. So to get them off, we first need to remove the connectors, remove the 10mm bolt, and then we can just take them out and replace them with new ones. Okay, so now we can take the solenoids out. Can be a bit of a hassle, but here we go. Always make sure that the O-ring, that it's always coming out with the solenoid. Otherwise you need to fish it out. You don't want this to be floating in your engine. Okay, we have the O-ring on this one too, so that's good. These are the new ones. I always clean this surface a little bit. Well, I mean, always, I don't know, this is the first time I do this. I just like to clean surfaces. Okay, so to put them in, basically exactly the same. Gotta make sure that they're all the way in, that the seal is doing its job, and that one can go in as well, like that. Now we gotta install those clips again. Alright, so we're installing the new VANOS solenoids. Just line them up like this, point it to the hole, and then we just gotta install this retainment clip again, like that. Want to make sure that it's lined up. Yep, like that. And then we tighten it. Okay, good. That's VANOS solenoids done. So next step is, let me think. Next step is, in my opinion, we can put the valve cover back on. Okay, things didn't go as planned. We are a bit in a pickle here. So, and this is nothing that I did, because the only thing I did was take it off. Now, I was reassembling the valve cover again. Turns out this bolt here, this hole is stripped out, and here in the back, where is it? Somewhere here. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it here. There is a bolt in there that snapped off. So what does that mean? That means that I need to go to the hardware store, get some... what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tap this out. This one I'm gonna tap out to an M8, since it's an M6, M8 or M10 I will see. And then I will put in a new bolt, so that should be fixed. Then I need to somehow extract that bolt from there. And yeah, and also put a bolt in there. So you can join me to the store. The good news is the store is not that far away, so we should be there in a jiffy, and hopefully they have what I need to fix it. Otherwise, I will have to look into other solutions. But yeah, let's stay positive for now. Okay, we got what we need. I hope so. And yeah, let's hope that we can fix it. Okay. Now, before we can tap the new hole in the block, we need to drill out the old one. And before we do that, I need some protection so no pieces fall into the block. Okay, so as you see here, I have protected everything around, so when we drill it, no piece of metal can fall in the engine block. We want to do this slow and as straight as possible. And preferably with a good drill. And to make sure all the metal pieces are fully gone. And then the next step of this whole endeavor, which I don't like by the way, is tapping in new thread. When tapping in new thread, you want to go also very slow. Don't want to force it. We don't want the tap to break. There we go. And there is new thread in that hole right now. I'm still not happy though, because everything still needs to fit. We want this to fit as close to OEM as possible, because if we can't, then we will have oil leaks, and yeah, then everything we did is for nothing. And then the next step is to TIG weld the aluminium close and then just start from zero. I want to vacuum this out to be sure that there are no metal pieces in this hole. Okay, that looks great. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is we have new threads here for an M8 bolt, so that should be fine now. Now the next step that we need to do is going to be a bit more tricky. Where's my lamp so I can show you guys better? So down there we have a bolt that snapped off, so we gotta extract that. So yeah, I'm gonna try my best to get it out without damaging the block. So yeah. Okay, so we got the valve cover back installed after a lot of hassle. Now the bolt that was here threaded is fully replaced. So what we did is we drilled it through, we tapped a new bolt in, and that's all good to go. The other one that was stuck we got out too, and that's also replaced with a new bolt. So everything here should be fine. What I'm gonna do now is we're gonna button everything up to a level where we can start the car. I'm not gonna finish everything off now in case there is still something that we need to adjust or take care of. So I already got the coil packs in. Gotta make sure they're all the way seated like this. Yep, all are in. Now we cannot forget we have this ground wire here that we need to connect to there. So, and then this crankshaft sensor, I think this is, needs to go into. So let's start with plugging everything in. Everything looks plugged in now. Everything we took off. Okay, all the things, good. So I guess now it's time that we fill it up with oil, and then we can give it the first start. The oil that we are using is 5W40. I find this type of oil on a car with a bit more kilometers or mileage on it, yeah, protects it a bit better against leaking. But you do whatever you want, of course. In this car, since we also did the oil filter, it needs 4.25 liters. I have no idea how much that is in ounces, but in liters it's 4.25. So this is already 2 liter. So that's 2. So we still need 2.25. Okay. So now the only thing left to do is connect the battery and yeah, give it a crank and see what happens. Of course, we still have a couple of sensors here disconnected, but those will not interfere with the running of the engine. So I think we are good to start it. The only thing I have to do is connect the battery. And yeah, maybe it blows up, maybe it doesn't. We'll see. If it does, quite good content, I guess. All right, moment of truth. Make sure we're in neutral. And here we go. There is no more fuel smell. So our purge valve and our seals for our injectors actually worked. And yeah, it's clean. Super, really good. Now what I want to do, obviously, is scan the car for any faults that it might have. And see how the engine is behaving right now. Okay. Nicely idling. Yeah, very nice. Of course, we will have spilled some oil and some brake cleaner and stuff like that. So I expect that there will be maybe a little bit of smoke coming from the engine while that's burning off. But it's not a big issue. And let's do an automatic scan. Okay, let's see. What is this? This we knew. The AUC sensor, I have no idea what that is. And stability control. Steering switching center internal fault. Okay. Let's do a quick erase. Okay. Yes. And let's do a new scan. Okay, so the water pump, I knew that. AUC sensor. That's something we need to look at. So I looked up what this AUC code actually is. Makes sense. It's this sensor, which is actually a pollution sensor, recirculation sensor that that is not plugged in right now. So once we plug this in, that code should be gone. So let's try that. See, like this. Okay, that's plugged in. And let's see if that actually did anything. Auto scan. Okay, so indeed that fault is gone. Now the only fault we have left is this auxiliary water pump. I want to show you guys real quick. I bought one of these water pumps, but unfortunately they have sent me the wrong one. The ones that we have on the car has a connector that goes that way and one that goes that way, and yeah, as you can see, that's not it. So yeah, I cannot replace it right now, but I still have to do the navigation unit that I'm going to install. We have to still take care of this. If you come here, like this whole seal is gone above the window, so that we still need to do. So in the meantime, I will order this water pump, and then hopefully by the next episode, when we button everything up and we do the radio and everything, that we can also do the water pump in the meantime. So for now, I want to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And yeah, if you liked it, please subscribe, because I am trying to get to 100 subscribers and it's apparently much harder than I thought. So yeah, it would mean a lot to me. Thank you.